Wintertodt has been known as the go-to place for brand new RuneScape accounts. At least that's what everyone keeps telling me. And honestly, everyone who tells me that isn't wrong. So today, in my goal to be the first out of my friends to get the fire cape, I thought we would go check out Wintertodt. Because honestly, right about now, I could use the boost. So let's go find out if Wintertodt is actually worth it. So you guys heard the intro. The goal is to get to Wintertodt. Now, in order for us to get to Wintertodt, I have a list. There's a bunch of things that we have to do, and I'm going to throw them up on the screen. Honestly, we're starting over here at Draenor Village, and I'm just trying to get my wood cutting and my fire making up before I can go to Wintertodt, because we got to get level 50 before we go to Wintertodt. So let's work on that. And there we have it, level 35. It means we are done in Draenor Village. That honestly wasn't too bad. It only took me like 20 minutes. So now we're gonna head over to Castle Wars. That's pretty much the goal in mind. There is one teak tree over there that I can use, and I will just sit there and cut down that teak tree until I hit level 50. I don't think it's gonna be too bad of a grind. It might take me for the rest of the day. I pretty much just got on. I've been here for about 20 minutes. So let's see how long that takes me. All right, guys, and here we are. We're over here at the teak tree over by Castle Wars. Yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna sit here for like, I'm not really sure how long this grind is gonna take actually. So we're pretty much just gonna sit here and cut this tree for like the rest of the day. I'm not too worried about this grind going too long. Honestly, it's kind of relaxing to just sit here and cut down this tree and light all the firewood. But yeah, so the goal here is we are just gonna sit here, grind this out until we hit level 50. And then we can finally move on with doing some few other things we gotta do before going over to Wintertodt. And let's go, level 50. This probably took me like maybe 3 hours. I'm not really sure. I ended off my night at like level 47 and then saved hitting level 50 for the next day. As you can see, I was on for like 17 minutes. So we're just starting off in the day and we hit it. And that means we have the rest of the day to get ready for Wintertodt and maybe even probably do some Wintertodt runs. So I'm pretty hyped about that. So happy to hit level 50. This grind wasn't too bad, honestly, but towards the end, it was getting a little dull. All right, guys, so if you know anything about Wintertodt, you know that you need to unlock your construction level. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to need to buy a house. So I'm over here in Falador, and I figured this would be like the best time to buy a house. I was kind of on my way. I'm running to do some Druidic ritual questing up in like the northwest section above Falador. So I figured I might as well stop in and get myself a little house. Honestly, housing is something I'm looking forward to. I heard construction costs a lot of money to train, and I heard it sucks a little bit, but kind of making a house in RuneScape has always been my like huge dream as a little kid when I was playing this game, and I've never really gotten to do that. So having this opportunity to finally do that is going to be so much fun. And it's time for me to do Druidic rituals. This honestly isn't going to be too hard of a quest. I don't really have everything I need for it, which honestly I didn't really think that far ahead. So that's a big mistake on me, but it's probably going to cost me like 10 minutes. I'm going to have to run and get some things and then just run on back. So I'm not too worried about it, honestly. But needless to say, this is going to unlock the worst skill in the game for me, and it is Herbalore. I hate Herbalore. I also hate farming. I'm not a big fan of either of them, but I'm going to need them. So it's better to unlock it now than to unlock it later, I guess. Funnily enough, I actually kind of want to get into farming pretty soon, just so I can start getting that early and maybe grinding that out over time, just so I don't have to do a lot of it towards the end. But we'll see, and if I do, I'm going to save that for another episode, so stay tuned for that. And back to the quest. So here we are. We're about to complete the quest and hand everything in. This quest actually wasn't too bad. It probably took me like 20 minutes. And Herbalore's unlocked. Let's go, guys. That is Herbalore crossed off our list. We only have a few more things left to do, and then we can start doing Wintertodt. I'm pretty hyped for that. So the next thing on my list to do is X marks the spot. That's just another quest we have to get out of the way. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that really quick. Honestly, there's not too much to talk about here. I'm pretty much going to pick up the shovel, go run around, dig some stuff up. So I will be right back. And there we go. The quest is complete. X marks the spot. Let's go. And we got an antique lamp for that. That is perfect. We love getting antique lamps. I think we're going to use this on Herbalore because honestly, like I said, I'm not too much of a fan of doing Herbalore. So I'm kind of just going to throw anything I get into Herbalore, but we'll see how I do. We might not do that for the future, but for right now, we'll see how we do. I might not do that for the future, but for right now, at least, I think that's what I'm going to do. And now lastly, there's one last thing we have to do before going on to Wintertodt? Well, there's two, but I'll get into the other one later. It's not that big of a deal. We need some warm clothes, and if we don't get some, Wintertodd's going to be a struggle. It might be a struggle regardless, but it's going to be even more of a struggle. So we are up here in the northwest of the map, and we're going to dig up the Clue Hunter garb. I'm going after getting 4 pieces of the Clue Hunter gear set, and I think that's going to be enough. I think anything after that doesn't help you anymore. So just getting 4, and honestly, it's the easiest stuff to get, and I don't really like how it looks. I'm more of a fan of my graceful outfit, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think we're just going to go ahead and grab 4 pieces really quick, and then it's finally time for Wintertodt, guys. So you guys up for a little bit of a treasure hunt? And there we go. We got our last piece of armor. That means we're ready for everything. We have everything we need. And that thing that I mentioned before, where I said there was one more thing that I needed before going in, I was just talking about food. And as you can see, I got tons of cakes. So we are set to go do Wintertodt. And look at my dude. He's looking pretty warm. And guys, it's finally time. We are heading up to Wintertodt. And I'm pretty pumped for this, honestly. I'm not going to lie. I've been looking up a few little guides just so I can kind of get an idea on how this works, because honestly I've never done this before and I'm a little nervous going into this. So if we do die in there, we do lose our stuff. We can come back and grab it, I'm pretty sure, but losing our stuff isn't something I want to do. So we're going to try and keep our health up, and I'm just going to focus on living. If I have to leave, then I'm just going to leave. I'm going to get out of there. Now, I don't think this is going to be too hard. I think I'm really just overcomplicating this boss fight. And we are into our first Wintertodt. As you can see, I'm doing it solo. I know this isn't like the best way to do it. Editor's note here. I know this isn't like the best way to do Wintertodt, but sorry in advance, because this is the way that I do Wintertodt for like the rest of the episode. But yeah, pretty much if you've never done Wintertodt before, all you have to do is mine at this route, get a bunch of wood, and then light this fire. That's all you really have to do. It's really simple. Just keep your health up, stay warm, and light this fire. It's as easy as that. And it's a pretty good fight. You can get a decent amount of money from doing this, and that's what I plan on doing, because money has been such a struggle for me up until this point. I'm hoping that Wintertodt is going to be a game changer for me. Now let's reference back to what I said in the intro of this video. Everybody has been telling me about how good Wintertodt is. So I am here to discover how good is it actually for newer players. So I'm going to keep doing a few of these runs. I'm going to show you guys my drops. I'm going to keep you guys involved in this, and let's actually find out how good this is for newer accounts and newer players. All right, guys, I got my first supply crate. I am so hyped. We're going to open it up and we're going to see what we get, because this was our first run. I want to see how good the money was, how good everything is. I think there's a few different types of things you can get from these. So I got some maple logs, some uncut sapphires, and some other logs. That's not a bad drop. I didn't get any money besides that. So if I go and sell these things, I'll have that money left over, but I didn't get any money. And I'm sure I'm gonna have to do a bunch of other drops. I did do this a solo run and I only got 500 points. So it wasn't as good, but let's see the next one. All right, guys. So I've done a few since then. I'm up to 9,000 coins. I've been doing this for like maybe like an hour or two. It's not too bad, but we got our next supply crate, and I want to show you guys this one off because I've been doing longer runs with getting more points that give me more drops in the supply crate. So pretty much this one should give me a lot more loot, and I wanted to show this off for you guys in particular. And look at that, we got 21 burnt notes. That's actually a really good drop, but it's not really useful to me right now. What I'm really looking at is the 10,000 coins I just got. As you guys can see, this run took me about like 20 minutes to do. I did this like pretty much as soon as I got on, and I was doing it with somebody, which made it a little bit easier, but we got 10,000 in like 20 minutes. That's not the best, but as for somebody who didn't have 10,000 like for the whole beginning of this playthrough, it's actually pretty good. And we got another crate, so let's check this one out. This one needs 18 slots to open, so this one's probably going to be loaded, I'm hoping. As you guys can see, we're sitting at 28,000 coins now. I've been on for like an hour and a half. Okay, we are up to 40,000, and honestly, this isn't like that good of a drop. I haven't been getting anything for my drop sets like been crazy good or I've been super hyped about. It's really just the money that I've been doing this for, and I've probably put in maybe 2 to 3 hours of doing this, and honestly, I'm not too hyped about the money. And I think that was our last run. I've done 14 total runs. I have 53,000. Honestly, it's not that much money. It's been a lot of work. and I'm not too happy about it. We're probably 100% going to come back to Wintertodt for sure. We got some burnt papers in that drop, okay. But as I was saying, I think right now this isn't really fitting me with what I want to do. And it did give me a huge jump. Like 57,000 coins is pretty big for me right now. It's going to get me a lot of runes for me to finish up my mage training. But for now, I think we're going to save our money making. But for now, I think we're going to find a better money maker. So lastly, I really don't think Wintertodt is the best for getting money, but it will give you a boost if you have no money makers. But it will give you a huge boost if you don't have any money makers. So is Wintertodt worth it in the end? Well, it's up for you to choose, because it is definitely one of the best fire making skilling bosses out there, if not the only one. But for me, it's not worth it. Nonetheless, this has been a huge help for me on my Ultimate Iron Man account so far, and I've gotten a lot and a big boost, so it has done the job of what I needed it to do. So for the next episode, get ready for some mage training. Subscribe!